Hey, what's up, my earthling and otherworldly life beings? Yo, this Rod D of Orange Ninja News, and news is what we do. Here we go, man. All right. Well, today, I think what I want to talk about is be on the theme of surviving versus living. And this is a video I've been meaning to do for a while, but I never got to it. I got a little time today where I can put it down. But it's basically just the difference between the two. And I say like this that surviving I feel like it's something that we've done after the fact of this whole thing that's out right now, this last pandemic where we have to wear masks and stuff like that, man. Because it's hard to feel free like that, you know what I'm saying? And living is when you're really free, you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever. You got that type of freedom where you can really do what you want type of deal, you know what I'm saying? But, and that's the difference between surviving and really living, man. And, I can't talk too much about the pandemic deal, of course, at least not on certain platforms. Your junk can get snatched off, so I ain't gonna just throw away the whole video doing something that I know I can't do on a certain platform. But anyway, so get back to the whole deal of the surviving versus living, man. The whole the dudes that's coming from Chicago to the Atlanta, Georgia area, man, like there was a lot of controversy over what T.I. had said that time. And the reason I got to reiterate on that is because today's theme of surviving versus living, I mean, I think that's one of the perfect examples of that. I mean, you got millionaires and billionaires in ATL, not just surviving, they thrive and they really live. They fully relax, man. And if you're gonna have people trying to escape a messed up situation where they're in survival mode, where you got people shooting all the time and getting killed and, a lot of that foolishness going on, trying to escape that, get to some place where you're trying to survive, then that's what's up, man. And you're fully welcome. But if the person go there and then they start doing the same thing that they supposedly was trying to escape from, then who are you BSing, man? You're just trying to branch out. You're not trying to really live and fix your situation and do better for yourself. You're just like, oh, well, here go a whole nother area where we not at. We can start up a whole new chapter, move down there, and open up shop. And a lot of people see that, man. Because, I mean, a lot of stuff in the area that wasn't going on, and you got the same people doing the same stuff, man. It's this one video in Chicago. It's a news clip about a guy, a rapper named KTS. He got shot in front of the jail. He just came out of lockup and he walked out, and his ops was waiting on him to come out so they can blast him up and jump. And I'm like, yo, with that type of crap going on, man. And it was like, yo, that's not uncommon. They had a bunch of times when stuff like that went on. And it's like, yo, man, you surviving in those circumstances, man. That's harsh living, man. I couldn't even imagine that. Yo, it's that much killing that, folks ain't even scared of police. They'll blast you right in front of the jail. And I got that. I was going to play that video clip, but I'm going to say that for another video where I go deeper into all that. But, that's just ridiculous. So, I mean, I think T.I. was on the right path with that, even though everybody started crapping on him, and that messes up the whole situation, though, man. Because think about it, Atlanta does have something good going on right now, man. And if you start changing up and saying, okay, it's all right, we can let this go on or we can let that go on, and nah, then you have to switch up the whole thing. Once Atlanta becomes Chirac all of a sudden, yeah, it's not Atlanta no more, man. Then everybody got to move, and then where you going to find to go? You know what I'm saying? A whole start over. How do you start a whole city over just for a few bad apples? And that's the thing. It's not everybody from Chicago, man. The average person that moved from that area that was trying to get their life together, man, that's what they did. I know a couple of drivers that came from the Chicago area and moved to Atlanta, and they're just normal dudes trying to put their kids through school, trying to have a decent life and stuff like that. And they just, they ain't bothering nobody. They chilling. They like, man, I had to escape from that madness, and that's it. They just chilling, having a good life, man. Ain't nobody coming from there on some, oh man, I'm gonna set up shop, sell drugs type deal, unless they just so programmed, so mentally programmed, and so messed up in the head that they can't realize that, yo, I just escaped. What the hell am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing that a lot of people saying about the Afghanistan deal, because you got a lot of refugees that don't have a place to go from there, because people are thinking, okay, how easy would it be for people that's loyal to the Taliban or loyal to ISIS to mix up with that whole crew and be like, yo, I'm a refugee, I'm trying to escape and this and that. And then next thing it might be a cell, might be a terrorist cell getting set up. They set up shop and they just come in claiming to be a refugee. So that's a big fear that people have. And the sad part about that, the only way you can do is once you let the people in, you got to monitor them a lot and try to really stay up on them. But unless they actually do something, unless you catch them at a meeting with maps out and having plans, man, ain't too much you can legally do. You know what I'm saying? Unless you catch them red-handed doing something, nothing you can legally do. So that's what makes that so scary. And it's the same thing, like I say, like the whole Chicago incident. It was like dudes that came in, oh, I'm just trying to escape the violence. Yeah. Yeah, it's just well, and then they end up being an actual Chirac terrorist cell. That's all them fools is, man. Some of 'em. Like some damn terrorists hitting up the city. Well, I'm telling you, man. It's crazy. But anytime people will shoot you right in front of the damn police station or a jail lockup, man, they give no F's, man. That's like to the point of, yeah, that's when you know it's time to go. It's time to flee that area. Don't look back. Don't look back or you'll turn into a table of salt. Turn into a salt statue. Yeah, man. So the next topic I want to talk about is Jake Paul. I know I talked about his fight already, but I think he's a real good example of living nice over surviving. And he did his whole situation, man, by him and his brother Logan Paul, man. If you look at their first videos, when them cats first came out, man, they came from meager beginnings. I mean, it ain't like they started off from the top. I mean, they started off just normal videos like everybody else. They do like little, clowning type stuff, some little goofball. type videos and stuff, trying to, keep people entertained, make people laugh and stuff like that. To take it from that to the empire that the Paul brothers got now, and got it to where they can make millions of dollars off of just one fight. You know what I'm saying? That's man, that is really good. I'm telling you, that's really living right there, man. And I mean, you have to really be a good salesman and a real good promoter to get to that level. And anybody that gets to a high level like that come from nothing to something, they have that type of that drive in them, and they have that type of self promotion in them, where they can take it to that type of point. You know what I'm saying? And I've been seeing, like, when I've been seeing them go ahead and promote for this last fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the antics was as heavy as like with the Mayweather fight. You seen some of the antics from that one, like when his brother Logan Paul had grabbed Mayweather's hat and ran off with it, and they had a little scuffle after Mayweather chased him, and it's just like they really dropped that one up. They do as much. They still did still did a little antics on this one, but it wasn't as hyped up with the antics as that one. Because I think now they like, we already got everybody. They're gonna come to it anyway. We ain't got to really go all out. You know what I'm saying? It's not that much of emergency where we got to open up all the stops and go all out on it. We can kind of chill a little bit with this one. Because we already got this one in the bag. But yeah, I'm like, those guys there, they're some real good promoters. And I can't hate on that. See, I'm taking notes, man. I'm looking at what they doing because I have to start promoting my channel, start getting stuff popping. I'm like, oh, man. I think I'm decent at the creating part, but when it comes to the promoting and the salesmanship, I'm like, yeah, that's something I have to work on. Definitely, man. It ain't easy, man. So that's why I say hats off to them cats. They make it look easy. The joint's definitely not easy, man. It looks easy on the outside looking in. Then when you step in, you be like, yeah, so it's not that easy like that. Oh, I get it now. Oh, okay. Yeah, but those some real good salesmen right there. All right, now I'm gonna get into my dude. Now, next, I think I'm gonna talk about the whole Texas gun laws. Cause that's definitely within today's theme of talking about surviving versus living. Yo, I heard different versions of it, and what I think it mostly is with the Texas gun law now, and everybody said, oh, well, you don't even need a gun license anymore. A gun license don't mean nothing in Texas anymore, and this and that. But it's really not that. I mean, it's just basically for the people that go to the gun shows, to buy their guns, and do all this other stuff. It was to help them out more because they felt like the laws was getting too strict, and Texas was one of those states like, yo, you can't have my gun. The only way you have my gun is if you pry it from my dead steel hands, that type of state. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they wanted to change up some wording with their gun laws and kind of step it up to make sure nobody bothers them with their guns. But you still have to. You still can't be a felon and all this other stuff. All those rules still apply. So if it's an idiot that's thinking, oh yeah, Texas is a state that they have lax gun laws and you don't need any permits, any license or nothing, so I can just roll through there with my gun. It's still the regular stuff still exists as far as if you're a felon and don't supposed to be around a gun and they catch you with one. Yeah, That law's still in effect, buddy. Still getting hemmed up. Still be locked up for a real long time. And I mean, that's all about survival, though, man. Is the way they're looking at it, because they had a lot of gun crimes. I was gonna say at some of their major cities, but it's really, if you look at it, it's only two cities where they have a lot of crime at and a lot of shootings that you have to look into. I would say Dallas and Houston is like the two main cities where you have to worry about. San Antonio, it's laid back, more relaxed. Uh, El Paso, basically any cities I think about in Texas is kind of laid back, really nice cities where I don't really think about crime when I go to. Now, if I'm rolling through Dallas, that's like, driving through Dallas, Texas, you better watch what side of town you're on. I just put it that way, man. Going through Dallas, Texas, they got some hood, the areas you need to watch out for. It's Oak Cliff got rap songs about it. I just say, if you're in that area, you might want to look out. Try to stay safe. I have had a lot of shootings, and plenty of they rap dudes done got shot up. Hell, one just got shot up lately, matter of fact. I think yesterday. So, yeah, you might want to. The Dallas area, kind of rough, man. And so, I mean, the whole gun law thing, like I'm saying, is like, it's more of it's a survival thing. So the next time somebody want to go and just do a drive by, just start shooting into a crowd or something, he better think twice, because unlike other places where he goes to do something wild or just shoot off in the crowd and stuff, and nobody has a gun, or it's a place where he think nobody has a gun. But in Texas, they cut all that out by saying, hey, you can carry. So will it still be as a mass shooting like in other places? And you remember, now they had a Walmart that made headline news because a guy went in there and he did this little terrorist type activity on some hate crap, and he was able to shoot up a lot of people without nobody shooting back and get out the damn store before he got caught, before the police took him. But still, I don't know how he went in without a scratch, though. That's kind of crazy. A lot of cops didn't shoot him up. I don't understand. Oh, okay, yeah, I can't go to. I forget what platform I'm on sometimes. But yeah. So the thing is, now think about their gun law. So if that gun law was already out and you had more people just carrying already, then that situation couldn't happen in the first place. Or a dude would have thought twice. He would have said, man, you know what? I want to do this foolishness, but I might want to take it to a different state because Texas ain't the one to play with like that. There's a lot of people carrying. I go in there, I'm looking for innocent victims that are all weaponless. I'm not looking for people to shoot back and get my noodles out my head. You know what I'm saying? He was looking for a safe bet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have happened if that law was already passed by then. So that's the way I look at it, and I think that's the way Texas is looking at it. And that one incident is probably one of the incidents that got that law into play. They was like, hey, well, look at this situation. If we didn't have this going on, right? If everybody had guns, just the 4 or 5 people had guns that day, it would have been way less people dead. And this dude wouldn't been walking out of there smiling and laughing. He would have been, he would have got hit up. We wouldn't have to worry about housing him and feeding him. Yeah. And I think other states are going to look at that law. Two things can happen. I mean, like if they get real tough on crime, man, and really start shutting stuff down and all that, and all those wild shooting sprees fall off. But I don't see that happening because they be tough on crime, and that's political suicide. So I don't care what you say, whether you're Republican or a Democrat, your people will say, yo, I'm trying to get elected. I'm not going to be the one to say I'm going to be tough on crime. Because there's no way I get elected. That's surely political suicide. And, I can't do it. So I don't see that way happening. I don't see the problem going away by itself, which would be the other thing. So I think looking at it that way, there's going to be other people that get into the whole more lax carry style of law. They're going to be like, look at Texas. All these other places, we still having problems. But at Texas, where everybody's starting to carry, we ain't hearing about no mass shootings, though. You know what I'm saying? People couldn't even play that day. They go there and try that. They know it's a done deal. We might have to copy behind them. So I actually see in the future other states taking that type of route, especially since they can't take the tougher on crime type route. And that's off the board. I'm just saying, but either way, it's like it's an open experiment that everybody's looking at. No matter which way you feel about it, one way or the other, it's a survival technique out of state, and it's an open experiment that everybody's looking at. All the other states are taking notes on. Yeah. So I think today I'm going to be getting some grits. Speaking of survival versus living, man. Anybody will tell you that being over the road is easy and it's fun and all that, man, I guess at certain times, but man, you more on the survival side than the really living side. Because really living, man, that's, to me, man, that's when you ball out, you doing whatever you want. You got your, you know what I'm saying? You can say you out at the beach doing what you want, you know what I'm saying, that day, or you're on vacation or something. To me, that's really living. That's doing your thing because you're doing what you actually want, man. When you stuck at a job, man, you surviving at that time, man. What's so funny about that? I know this. There's one dude. Everybody met a type of dude that be having some crazy stories, and you're like, I don't know, this guy might be full of it or not. But it was one trucking company I was working with one time. But this dude would always have these real elaborate, crazy stories. And then someone would kind of be like, well, I don't know, that might could happen. I don't know, man. And then one time he told me, he was like, yo, I just drive trucks for fun, man. I mean, I really don't have to drive. I'm paid, man. I can do whatever I want. I'm like, okay, now, I know all the other bullshit he was kicking. I know that's lies. And you gonna lie about that one, because, I mean, that's for sure lie. Like, dude, you talking to a truck driver, man. You can't BS me on this. This ain't something you just do for fun. What the hell? This ain't no damn vacation. That ain't you damn working. They're like, nah, man, I told you I did that. I did the graphics for that Mummy movie. Oh, yeah, I heard you say something about that, man, but that sounds kind of unrealistic, man. That movie now, I think, is done damn near about to reach $1 billion. Come on, man. If you did graphics for that, yeah, you could be somewhere on your private yacht right now, sipping champagne, surrounded by beautiful women, but yet you want to be at a damn truck stop surrounded by a bunch of dudes that drive trucks. Man, get the hell out of here. Get out your damn mind. That just sounds stupid. But yeah, so it's like it's more on the survival end than really living in. You know, the job like any other job, man. Just for any cat that want to come out and they thinking it's gonna be a piece of cake and it's gonna be all type of fun, man. I ain't the type of guy to crap on nobody's dreams, but at the same time, I ain't gonna feed you full of BS either, man. Hell, I don't get nothing for lying to you. I'm gonna tell you the damn truth, man. You come out, hey, be ready to work. It's just a damn job. You reporting to the job, so be ready to work. Be ready to get at it. The only part right now is we're just having this certain thing out that you got to wear a mask for that they don't really let you talk about on social media, but with this thing out, you know what I'm talking about, right? That you got to wear a mask for on the daily. Uh, that makes it kind of harder too, man, because you're traveling, you're going a lot of places all the time, so you gonna really you gonna wanna I don't know have a game plan for that. I would say make sure you got whatever vitamins, a shot, or whatever you gonna do. I don't know whatever your game plan might be or how a person feel one way or other about that. But either way, you got to have your stuff together where, because it ain't no joke. Like you going, a lot of places got to be like, yo, right now in this area, you don't want to go to this area because a lot of people is real sick. You go to that area, you know you're gonna be driving straight into it. Well, what you gonna do if you got a load that delivers there? So either way, your game plan, you got to have that one already figured out and ready for it. All right, so let's get into the next topic. And well, it's the anniversary of 9/11, 20 years after. So you'll see a lot of programs on TV today about it. Bunch of different theories and bunch of reenactments and a lot of talk about it. And I just thought I'd bring that up. I was going to say it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11, if you didn't know. Now, before I get into some space stuff, I wanted to talk about the trailer I saw for Rick and Morty. They had a movie with the live actors, man. That trailer looks pretty nice, man. And they got it spot on with the actors. They got some people that really look like the Rick and Morty cartoon. They got the old professor from Back to the Future. Man, I don't know how old that dude is, but he looks good for his age, man. Yeah, he was an old man back in the day with the old Back to the Future, unless that was just a good makeup or whatever. I'm like, damn. this old man this old man looks healthy for his age, man. Pretty cool. Yo, yeah, the space the whole space theory I'm gonna get into now. It's called Estate Planning for Humanity, and you can find it on Noma magazine and Noma or Nome, depends on how they pronounce it, but it's spelled Noema. Look like it should be pronounced Noma, but either way they pronounce it, you got the spelling Noema. So if you want to look at that magazine, that'd be easy to do. Let's see, the story says if you were stranded on a deserted alley, you might write a message, put it in a bottle, and cast it into the sea. What would you write? You might put down, where you are and hope that someone quickly discovers the message and rescues you. But you wouldn't have much hope that would happen. It is more likely that your message is found long after you are gone. So instead, you might write about who you are and how you came to be stranded on the island. Your hope would be to have your fate known and recited by someone in the future. The Pioneer planetary probes launched in the 70s have exited our solar system, passing into the great sea of space. Astronomer Carl Sagan advocated for including a plaque on the Pioneer probes. The plaque showed where the craft came from and included a picture of a man and a woman. Later that decade, the Voyager probes similarly included a gold record that contained sounds and images from Earth. They too have left the solar system. We don't expect to ever see these spacecraft again. At the rate they are traveling, it will be tens of thousands of years before they could possibly reach another star, although the probes were not designed for the purpose of communicating with distant aliens. They are our first messages in a bottle. And I seen a documentary on that. It's kind of weird that they at the time, but this was back in the '70s, so we wasn't advanced back then. But I just thought it was odd that they put a gold record in there. They put pictures too, and like they say, the symbol of a man and a woman, and a lot of other pictures and creatures of the earth and stuff like that. And then they had this gold record, uh, and the sounds they put on there is like, you hear different animals on it. Yeah, a lot of they put the wind sound, nature, and stuff like that. People talking in different languages. And I was just thinking, like, you put a gold record in there. What about if the aliens don't have a record player? We gotta outgrew record players ourselves. I mean, we went from those big uh those big 8 track type decks and people had in their cars. Went from that to cassette tapes. From cassette tapes, well, hell, record players was before all that. So since that, it evolved from record player, 8 track player, cassette tapes, CD player, and now nobody even has CD players anymore. It's all streaming services and streaming right now. So I mean, it just evolves over time. So it is about time they send another message out. This time with probably more high tech computer stuff on it that they could probably interface with. Because if they're advanced, they wouldn't have a problem. They need to send a smartphone up. The aliens would be like, smartphones? That's old school. Well, let me see what kind of messages they got on this thing. Have a lot of pictures and junk on that joker. But I always thought about that. I'm like, what if they don't have a record player? That's weird to just send a record up. And then it was a gold record. Well, if the aliens be like, yeah, we need some gold. Where's this planet at? We must conquer it. They are mostly symbolic, not because of the time they would take to reach a potential audience, but because they will likely never be found. Space is so large and the spacecraft are so small that the chance they encounter anything is teeny. Still, it is comforting to know that these spacecraft exist traveling through space right now. If our solar system blew up tomorrow, these plaques and records will be the only physical record of life on Earth. They will be our only legacy. Today, there are initiatives to send spacecraft to nearby stars. One prominent effort is called the Breakthrough Starshot. It envisions using high-powered space-based lasers to propel teeny spacecraft to our nearest neighboring star, Alpha Centauri. And Alpha Centauri, there's a lot of space movies, sci-fi movies that talk about Alpha Centauri, and I'm trying to think about it was This one video game, I think it was called Galactica, something like that. But you'll be shooting at the spacecraft that's trying to land and stuff, and then they made a movie about it, and they were saying that they based the game on a real starship, so they took a guy up that was real good at the game to battle the enemies from Alpha Centauri. It was kind of a good sci-fi movie, but they had a lot of movies back in the day that talk about our nearest star. Yeah, okay. And let's see. Like the Pioneer and Voyager probes, the Starshot craft will continue to move through space long after we are gone. If the spacecraft are discovered by intelligent beings elsewhere in the galaxy, then those beings would know that we once existed and were intelligent enough to send spacecraft between the stars. Unfortunately, this is a poor way to intentionally communicate our existence to other beings. The spacecraft are teeny and slow. They can only reach a small portion of our galaxy, and if they reach an inhabited star system, the likelihood of being discovered is small. Now, the SETI Institute, you probably hear a lot about. In the SETI Institute, it's for the word SETI. The initials break down to, this space exploration type program, but the word SETI itself actually comes from ancient Egypt, which we use a lot of the ancient Egyptian words and a lot of ancient Egyptian terms when it comes to space and space exploration. I guess because ancient Egyptians was into, studying the stars and space and stuff like that too. But yeah, it's one of the words it's an ancient Egyptian word actually. So the SETI Institute has spent years trying to detect intelligent life elsewhere in our galaxy. SETI assumes, SETI assumes that other intelligent beings are broadcasting a signal with sufficient power that we can detect here on Earth. Our radar, radio, TV broadcasts also send signals out into space, but these signals are so weak that using our existing SETI technology could detect similar signals from other planets unless they came from one very close to us. Hence, right now, there could be millions of planets with intelligent life just like ours scattered throughout our galaxy. And if each planet had a SETI program just like ours, nobody would detect anything. They, like us, will be saying, where is everybody? It's just that we're not advanced enough to be able to make it to another star system with the technology that we got now. It takes so long. Like I said before, your children's children might make it there. You just load up the spaceship and unless we come up with the cryogenic sleep chambers and stuff like they be having on some of the sci-fi movies, where they just you can go to sleep till you get there and be frozen and be the same age and everything once you get there. For SETI to be successful, we assume that intelligent beings are purposely creating strong signals designed to be detected over long distances. It is also possible that we could detect a signal not intended for us. That is, we might just happen to be aligned with a highly targeted signal and unintentionally pick up a conversation. But for the most part, SETI assumes that an intelligent species is trying to make itself known by sending a powerful signal. It would be considered if we did the same. This is referred to as META, which stands for Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. You might be surprised to learn that quite a few people think that META is a bad idea, like the worst idea ever. They fear that if we send a signal into space and thereby make our presence known, more advanced beings will come over to our star and kill us, enslave us, do experiments on us, or maybe accidentally infect us with a bug that we can't fight. Perhaps they are looking for planets that they can live on, and the easiest way to find one is to wait for people like us to raise our hand and say, over here. In any case, humanity would be doomed. Uh, that's the whole doom and gloom theory of why it wouldn't be good to contact extraterrestrials. But at the same time, if they really that advanced, they could see that it's life on the planet by sending their own probes and stuff like that. It's like when we go to a different planet, we don't, like right now in Mars, we got all types of rovers and probes and stuff like that. We're seeing robots first before you even try to colonize anything. So we could have robotic spacecraft floating around in space around Earth right now and not even know it. So me myself, I don't think if they that intelligent, they would just say, "Hey, look, this is a nice place to blow up." I think once they get so intelligent, you get kind of enlightened. Yeah, you kind of lose those demonic traits of just looking around and do evil. I would think. I don't know. They say this reminds me of one of the most common errors that first-time technology entrepreneurs make. They fear someone will steal their idea, and therefore they keep it secret. In almost all cases, it is better to share your idea with anyone who might be able to help you. Other people can give you product and business advice and help you in numerous other ways. Entrepreneurs are far more likely to succeed by telling people what they are doing than by being secretive. It is human nature, aka old brain, to suspect everybody wants to steal your idea, where the reality is that you are lucky if anyone cares about your idea. The risk of meta is built upon a series of improbable assumptions. It assumes that other intelligent beings are capable of interstellar travel. It assumes they are willing to spend significant time, energy to make the trip to Earth. Unless the aliens are hiding someplace nearby, it might take thousands of years for them to get here. It assumes that intelligent agents need Earth or something on Earth that they can't get in any other way, so that it's worth the trip. It assumes that despite having the technology for interstellar travel, they don't have the technology to take life on Earth without us broadcasting. And finally, it assumes that such an advanced civilization will be willing to cause us harm as opposed to trying to help us or at least not hurt us. Regarding this last point, it is a reasonable assumption that intelligent beings elsewhere in the galaxy evolved from non-intelligent life just as we did. Therefore, the aliens probably face the same types of risks that we face today. To survive long enough to become a galaxy-faring species means that they somehow got past these risks. Therefore, it is likely that whatever brain equivalent they have now would no longer be dominated by false beliefs or dangerously aggressive behavior. Yeah, same thing I just said. Once you evolve so far in intelligence, man, a lot of that going out conquering and killing everything you see, kind of, you evolve past that type of foolishness. For all the above reasons, I believe that we have nothing to fear from meta. Like a new entrepreneur, we would be better off trying to tell the universe that we exist and hope that anyone cares. The best way to approach both SETI and meta is critically depending on how long intelligent life typically survives. It is impossible that intelligence has millions of times in our galaxy and almost none of the intelligent beings existed at the same time. Here's an analogy. Imagine 50 people are invited to an evening party. Everyone arrives at the party at a randomly chosen time. When they get there, they may open the door and step inside. What are the chances they see a party going on or an empty room? It depends on how long they each stay. If all the party goers stay for 1 minute before leaving, And almost everyone who shows up will see an empty room, conclude that no one else came to the party. The party goers stay for an hour or two, then the party will be a success with lots of people in the room at the same time. We don't know how long intelligent life typically lasts. The Milky Way galaxy is about 13.5 billion years old. Let's say that it has been able to support intelligent life for about 10 billion years. That is the length of our party. If we assume that humans survive as a technological species for 10,000 years, then it is as if we showed up for a 6-hour party but only stayed for 1/5 of a second. Even if 10,000 of other intelligent beings show up for the same party, it is likely that we won't see anyone else while we are there. We will see an empty room. If we expect to discover intelligent life in our galaxy, it requires that intelligent life occurs often and that it lasts a long time. I expect that extraterrestrial life is coming. It is estimated there are about 300 million planets in the Milky Way alone that could support life, and life appeared on Earth billions of years ago, soon after the planet was formed. If Earth is typical, then life is coming in our galaxy. I also believe that many planets with life will eventually evolve intelligent life. I have proposed that intelligence is based on brain mechanisms that first evolved for moving our bodies and recognizing places we have been. So intelligence may not be too remarkable once there are multicellular animals moving about. However, we are interested in intelligent life that understands physics and that possesses the advanced technologies needed to send and receive signals from space. On Earth, this happened only once and only recently. We just don't have enough data to know how common species like us are. My guess is that technological species occur more often than you might conclude. If you just looked at the history of Earth, I am surprised about how long it took for advanced technologies to appear on our planet. Now, the part where it says about we just now getting smart enough to, do our advances with space, I don't know. I think that part's up for debate, being that if you watch shows like Ancient Aliens and they talk about ancient Iraq with the Sumerians that talk a lot about space and had a lot of technology that we don't know how they got such advanced things like batteries and a lot of advanced inventions that they had, and they were always talking a lot about space travel and stuff like that. And you also have the Egyptians, and they always studied the stars and space, and hell, right here in the Americas, the Mayans. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like we get so advanced, and then it's like everything gets knocked down, then we get advanced again. Like, we go through some cycles, it seems like. But as far as the first time of being this advanced, I would say that's up for debate, man. Because we could tell just by our archaeologists can tell that we had some real advanced civilizations that was in the space before us. Okay. And let's see, and he concluded for saying, for example, I see no reason why advanced species couldn't have appeared 100 million years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Regardless of how common technology advanced life is, it might not last a long time. Advanced species elsewhere in the galaxy will likely experience problems similar to those we face. The history of failed civilizations on Earth, plus existential threats we are creating, suggests that advanced civilizations may not last very long. Of course, it is possible that species like ours could figure out how to survive for millions of years I don't consider it likely. Mm, I I say it's possible that advanced humans will be around millions of years from now. I mean, everybody thinks we might blow ourselves up, but like I say, the more intelligent we get, the the more intelligent, more civilized we're getting. I'm thinking that'll be less and less of a possibility, man. If the robots don't take over everything first. But that's not in the story, and I ain't. So I digress. Let me get back to the story, yo. The implications of this are that intelligent and technical advanced life might have sprung up millions of times in the Milky Way, but when we look at the stars, we won't find intelligent life waiting to have a conversation with us. Instead, we will see stars where intelligent life once existed, but not now. The answer to the question, where is everybody, is that they already left the party. There is a way to get around all these issues. There's a way to discover intelligent life in our galaxy and perhaps even other galaxies. Imagine that we create a signal that indicates we were here on Earth. The signal needs to be strong enough to be detected from far away, and it needs to last a long time. The signal needs to persist long after we are gone. Creating such a signal is like leaving a calling card at the party that says we were here. People who show up later won't find us, but they will know that we once existed. This is just a different way to think about SETI and Meta. Specifically, it suggests we should first focus our efforts on how we could create a long lasting signal. By long lasting, I mean 100,000 years or maybe millions of years or even a billion. The longer the signal persists, the more likely it will be successful. There is a nice secondary benefit to this idea. Once we figure out how to make such a signal, then we will know what to look for ourselves. Other intelligent beings will likely reach the same conclusion we do. They too will look for how to create a long lasting signal. As soon as we figure out how to do this, then we can start looking for it. Today, SETI searches for radio signals that contain a pattern indicating that signal was sent by intelligent being. For example, a signal that repeated the first 20 digits of and they got a symbol, would certainly be created by an intelligent species. I doubt we will ever find such a signal. It presumes that intelligent beings elsewhere in our galaxy have set up a powerful radio transmitter and using computers and electronics place a code in the signal. We have done this ourselves a few brief times. It requires a big antenna pointed into space, electrical energy, people, and computers. Because of the brief duration of the signals we sent, the messages were more symbolic than serious attempts to reach out to the rest of our galaxy. The problem with broadcasting a signal using electricity, computers, and antennas is that the system won't run for very long. Antennas, electronics, wires, etc., will not stay functional for even 100 years without maintenance, let alone a million years. The method we choose to signal our presence has to be powerful, broadly directed, and self-sustaining. Once started, it needs to reliably run for millions of years without any maintenance or intervention. Stars are like this. Once started, a star emits large amounts of energy for billions of years. We want to find something that is similar, but that couldn't be started without the guiding hand of intelligent species. Astronomers have found many odd sources of energy in the universe that, for example, oscillate, rotate, and emit short bursts. Astronomers look for natural explanations for these unusual signals, and usually they find them. Perhaps some of the as yet unexplained phenomena are not natural, but the type of signal I am talking about created by intelligent beings. That would be nice, but I doubt it will be that easy. It is more likely that physicists and engineers will have to work on the problem for a while to come up with a set of possible methods to create a strong, self-sustaining signal that unmistakably originated from intelligent beings. The method also has to be something that we can implement. For example, physicists might convince a new energy source capable of generating such a signal. But if we don't have the ability to create ourselves, then we should assume that other intelligent beings can't either, and we should keep looking. I have noodled on this problem for years, keeping an eye out for something that might fit the bill. Recently, a candidate surfaced. One of the most exciting areas of astronomy today is the discovery of planets orbiting the stars. Until recently, it was not known if planets were common or rare. We now know the answer. Planets are common, and most stars have multiple planets, just like ours. The primary way we know this is by detecting slight reductions in starlight as a planet passes between distant star and telescope. We could use the same basic idea to signal our presence. For example, imagine if we placed into orbit a set of objects that block a bit of the sun's light in a pattern that would not occur naturally. These orbiting sun blockers would continue to orbit the sun for millions of years, long after we are gone, and they could be detected from far away. We already possess the means to build such a sun blocker system, and there may be better ways to signal our presence. Put an orb around the sun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that theory, but let me go on. Letting a distant civilization know that we once existed is an important first goal. But to me, the most important thing about humans is our knowledge. We are the only species on Earth that possess knowledge of the universe and how it works. Knowledge is rare, and we should attempt to preserve it. Let's assume that humans go extinct, but life on Earth continues. For example, an asteroid is believed to have killed the dinosaurs and many other species. But some small animals managed to survive the impact. 60 million years later, some of those survivors became us. Imagine now that we humans have gone extinct, perhaps due to a natural disaster to something we did. Other species survive, and in 50 million years, one of them becomes intelligent. That species would definitely want to know everything they could about the long gone humans. They would be particularly interested in knowing the extent of our knowledge and what happened to us. If humans go extinct, then in just a million years or so, all detailed records of our life will likely be lost. There will be buried remains of some of our cities and large infrastructure. But pretty much every document, film, recording will no longer exist. Future non-human archaeologists would struggle to piece together our history in the same way. They try to piece our history together the same way we do with the dinosaurs, basically, is what he said. As part of our estate plan, we could preserve our knowledge in a more permanent form, one that could last tens of millions of years. There are several ways we might do this. For example, we could continually archive a knowledge base such as Wikipedia. Wikipedia is constantly updated, so it would document events up to the point where our society started to fail. The archive should be automated and shouldn't be located on Earth, as Earth might be partially destroyed in a singular event. To overcome this problem, we could locate our archive in a set of satellites that orbit the sun. This way, the archive will be easy to discover, but difficult to physically alter or destroy. My theory of putting satellites around the sun that have our little Wikipedia archive of human existence is, being that if it's close to the sun does have solar flares and there's all type of different bad possibilities that could happen. I mean, it would have to be hella built. I mean, it have to be able to withstand a lot of stuff. As hot as the sun is, and everything that could go wrong. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the satellite orbiting the sun is be too bright. I mean, it have to be some real good technology to keep it from getting messed up. We would design a satellite-based archive so that we could send automatic updates to it, but its content could not be erased. The electronics in the satellite will stop functioning shortly after we are gone. So to read the archive, a future intelligent species will have to develop the technology to travel to the archive, bring it back to Earth, extract the data. We could use multiple satellites at different orbits for redundancy. We already possess the ability to create a satellite archive and retrieve it. Imagine if a previous intelligent species on Earth had placed a set of satellites around the solar system. We would have discovered them by now and already brought them back to Earth. In essence, we could create a time capsule designed to last for millions or hundreds of millions of years. In the distant future, intelligent beings, whether they evolve on Earth or travel from another star, could discover the time capsule and read its contents. Is it worth the time and money to pursue initiatives like this? Would it be better to put all our efforts into improving life on Earth? There is always friction between investing in the short term and investing in the long term. Short-term problems are more pressing, whereas investing in the future has few immediate benefits. Every organization, whether it be government, business, household, faces this dilemma. However, not investing in long-term guarantees future failure. In this case, I believe that investing in an estate plan for humanity has several near-term benefits. It will keep us more aware of existential threats we face. It will prepare more people to think about the long-term consequences of our actions as a species. And it will provide a type of purpose to our life should we eventually fail. And that was a nice story from Noma magazine that falls into the whole category of survival. And also they got this that dual survival show on it's from the Discovery Channel, but you can also catch it on free apps like Pluto TV or Tubi TV, either one of those. And they had a whole series on there. But I think the whole space exploration thing is just basically humanity's way of trying to survive past what we know, as far as, you know, you can always have, like, get hit by a meteor or asteroid, or, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like, where do we go next? Space, the great frontier. Alright, man, I went kind of long today. I always have to get into a little space exploration talk before I sign off. And right about this time, I'm going to sign out at that. So, as I usually say, man, y'all be blessed, you know. Treat each other good. And till next time, man. Hey.